Hi, sisters. Welcome back to another episode of the Little Sis Podcast. I'm your host, Marissa Fuentes, and today it's going to be a really fun episode because it's things that I'm having to remind myself constantly on the daily, especially this past week. So I thought, why not share it with you guys? Today's episode is about trusting your timing, living your truth, and learning to flow with life instead of forcing it. But as always, I have my journal/diary with me, so we're staying on topic because I don't know about you, but it's kind of hard talking just, myself and keeping the convo flowing. But we're going to get used to it. So, before we actually get into the episode, I have been seeing a lot of angel numbers. And if you know me personally, you know I love my angel numbers. And recently, for a while, I've been just seeing 333 all the time. And I thought it's kind of funny because 333 actually means the equilibrium. And it's supposed to remind you to keep mind, body, and spirit at the top of your priority. Don't neglect one for the other. And I think that's a great reminder, not only for me, but maybe for you guys, especially when you're in a time where you're being forced to juggle a lot of things in your life. So yeah, 333 is going to emulate this video today. So part 1, getting the yin yang mindset. Kind of funny and a little ironic, but I had actually got a scar from my recent accident, and it actually resembles the yin yang element, which is kind of hilarious. I was thinking maybe I should just cover it up and put a yin yang tattoo over it, but I kind of just love seeing it every day, just how it is, because it reminds me to think the way a yin yang mindset should. So, in case you didn't know, yin is the dark side of that symbol. It represents stillness, reflection, softness, receiving, inner work, patience, and overall the feminine energy. And yang is the light side of that symbol. It represents action, effort, expression, achievement, outer work, momentum, and overall the masculine energy. I think with those two combined and knowing what each side represents, it's overall telling you to accept life as not being just one thing. I wrote down, it's about finding your unique balance between doing and resting, pushing and surrendering, speaking up and listening, giving and receiving. I think it's hard when you're just getting used to one, especially in your early 20s, when life is kind of asking of you to be in your yang element a lot of the time. But try to embrace both sides, because I read this book. It's called The Laws of Human Nature. And funny enough, I finished it through my 75 hard challenge. But in that book, one of the laws was law number 12, law of gender rigidity. It talks about how society encourages to over-identify with one and suppress the other. Unfortunately, when you do that, it makes you force so much of one side that you go out looking for the other, and it's just not a healthy balance. When you tend to embrace both sides and you reconnect with your yin and your yang, it unleashes a creative potential that you really didn't know you had. I think we all know that we tend to glorify yang a lot in our life. It's really just the societal standards. We've been taught it, we're expected of it. Sometimes when you just glorify the yang in your life, which is the constant hustle, always doing an action and always seeking visible results constantly, you tend to miss out on your yin, causing a burnout, lack of clarity, and tending to act from pressure rather than purpose. I feel like I want to ingrain in you guys, when you act from pressure and not from purpose, things tend to feel out of control. This is something I'm having to remind myself a lot, because it's easier to preach than to practice. But in my personal life, because of my accident, I've been needing to look for a new vehicle. And it's been difficult, not only because I'm starting from ground zero, but also navigating how to negotiate a whole new set of rules within this dynamic of going into dealerships, finding out which car best suits me for this next few years of my life, understanding, the numbers that go into it, and more so having a timeline of when this all needs to be completed. I catch myself feeling like I'm being forced to act with pressure rather than true purpose of knowing exactly what's necessary for me, but being able to sit with it and relax, allow the mindset of what will be, will be. I hope that that reminder kind of sits with you guys. Yes, we're being asked to hustle, get to the end goal, but that takes time. Allowing that patience for yourself, you're going to emulate the yin inside you. Recently, I've been realizing with this mindset that I keep saying, I'm just yin yangin'. True growth comes from honoring when to act and when to rest. Easier said than done. But when you're yin yangin' and you're reminding yourself that life is the balance between both, you can start to see when life is asking you to flow and in moments when life is asking you to just sit back and take what's happening and trust the process. The yang in you might want to fix everything fast, but real healing sometimes looks like being still, grieving, and allowing time to do the work, which is our yin. And that is a great reminder for me because, yes, I've been practicing that, and thankfully, I've been doing prior work to get to this mindset ahead of time, but it's being able to have to constantly practice it and remind myself of it. There's a lot of things in my life that I'm celebrating, but at the same time, there's things that I'm having to grieve and let go of. Both are hard to do at the same time, but learning how to juggle those two pieces comes with practice, comes with age, and you can only get better at it. Sometimes you have moments even when you're way older or it's a second time around and you kind of lose yourself. Just know that even in that moment, life will be in equilibrium and you'll be able to balance out and find a level head with being able to balance your mind, body, and spirit. Ask yourself, sis, are you being invited to flow or rest? Like I said, currently I'm being invited to flow, but I'm hoping I'll be invited to rest soon. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. But let me know. Comment if you are being invited to flow or to rest. I would love to hear that. So part 2, the day you plant the seed is not the day you eat the fruit. I know. It's not the day you get to eat that delicious fruit. And if you know me, I'm a fruit bat. But it's a good reminder that you have to start somewhere. And the results that you're seeking from starting is not going to happen overnight. It might not even happen within a week. But I like to say to myself, this month's care shows up in next month's you. Get out of the instant gratification mindset. I know we're programmed to have that instant gratification mindset. But the minute that you're able to practice not receiving when you give right away, you become very powerful. In a lot of ways, that falls into being disciplined and becoming magnetic in your life. I mean, there's a lot of things in my life personally that I can relate practicing getting rid of the instant gratification mindset. I am working on a lot of triggers. Even when I have mess ups in my life and I catch myself wanting that result right away, I stop myself. And even when I have a day where that trigger gets the best of me, it's okay because I start again and I keep trying. And that's the most important thing that I want everybody to take away is that even if you mess up and you have a setback, you can still keep trying. It's not the end all be all. So, with the need for instant gratification and practicing to quiet that, you also have to practice quieting the inner judgment talk. I have inner judgment within my fitness journey. In the previous episodes, I've talked about a 75 hard challenge. I've mentioned how I'm starting my fitness journey personally. And even with all the positive talk that I give myself, and even the patience that I know that I've built for myself, I still catch myself looking in the mirror and looking at my body. And I do this sometimes just to practice seeing myself and getting used to it and accepting it. But other times I look at myself just to judge myself and nitpick at things that I'm seeing aren't changing right away. And, guys, like your body is beautiful. And it's even more beautiful when you realize it's in the process of getting better and changing. I have inner judgment talk with learning detachment. Think to yourself, what detachment are you going through in your life? Detachment for me is personally with past relationships. I'm still working on detaching from my relationships that I've had in the past, whether that's friendships or romantic relationships. It's not easy, but at least you're trying and you're not giving up on that effort. Recently, I had a therapy session. I had huge inner judgment because I reached the wall where I asked myself, gosh, just name it. Name what's wrong with me. Tell me the duration in which I'll be dealing with this and when I'll get through it and when I'll heal and be a different person. But that's not reality. It is the yin yang process. You have to start somewhere and you have to give, and you also have to know when it's time for rest and to let what you're taking in soak in. Trust that what you're doing and what you're planning is going to blossom, not today, but maybe in a month or maybe in a few months or 6 months. I always say it's a 6 month rule, especially when you're working on really big goals for yourself. Yes, tomorrow's not promised, but at the same time, we can still have optimism that a year goes by so quick. Trust me when I say what you set intentions for will show up in the timing that it's supposed to. So always know that you're going to be okay. Don't get down on yourself for the small steps you're doing now to be able to look back and be like, oh, I really did that. I really did that. I worked out my booty and wow, I have a big badonk. Or, I've been working on that detachment and wow, like I can finally go through my days, not think about them, or can hear a song and not think about them because it's mine now. I made it for me and not for anyone else. You have to have patience for yourself and you really have to have forgiveness for yourself. If you don't have those for yourself, you can't expect to have those for others. So prioritize yourself and your well-being first so that you can show up for others eventually. You have to trust in the unseen work. Let those new roots grow. It's funny because I got into the hobby of taking care of plants and I love it. But it's sometimes difficult, especially when you see that your plant is growing and it's time to repot it. And I have a funny story because I actually went to the plant store. I got new soil. It was unfortunately the wrong soil because I went in there not asking any questions. I was just like, I'm too scared. Let me just get this. Let me get that. Whatever I found on TikTok. Let me just try it. And my plants did not like it. Thinking about that, it made me realize I want to give you guys a little bit of a reminder that sometimes the first try, the soil is not right and it's okay. You just have to be able to notice the signs of why it's not right and just change it. Just repot yourself. I recently had to repot a lot of my plants and put them in brand new soil where I asked for direction. I did my research to try something new. I would say they're doing good, but I'm not too sure. And obviously, that goes into trusting that unseen work, trusting in yourself that you'll see whether it's going good or it's going bad, and if you need to make a change from there. But always be willing to repot yourself. Part 3. Start living with authenticity. You have to get away from these outside expectations. And yes, I'm talking to you, but I'm talking to me too. Easier said than done. And I think that's also a huge theme of this whole episode. Easier said than done, but it's all about reminding yourself and practicing. I believe this initial breakaway from societal expectations starts to happen when you're in your 20s. I can really remember that shift happening for me maybe a year ago. But I honestly wasn't trying to get away from that norm. At the same time, there were small moments where I knew I was being judged. I was like, you know what, this is me. It is what it is. Like, if I'm not hurting anybody and I'm doing things the way I like it, if they like me, then they like me. If they don't, they don't. I want to remind you guys that people will always share their opinion. And that's an amazing thing when people want to share their opinion. And you can take notes, but at the end of the day, you have to trust that inner compass within you. And you'll know it. It's usually a gut feeling. You can feel it in your heart. You can just feel it in your thoughts. Whatever that inner compass is for you, you'll know what to take away from someone's advice, and especially mine, especially from your closest friend. Everyone has an opinion, and it only comes from the place that is good, place of expectations and knowledge and experiences that they've only had for themselves. And so find the people you trust, find the people that you love to hear advice from, but always know that you can put your own spin on it. You have to choose your own direction, and that's an amazing opportunity to have. You can choose your own direction with work, the way you communicate, where you move, and what you buy. With work, especially, I've noticed a huge shift in how I show up in the workplace, what decisions I make on the day to day. Especially in my line of work, I'm dealing with a lot of clientele and making a lot of partnerships happen. And in the very beginning, when I started this job, I definitely was nervous to rumble the sheets. I don't know. But I was definitely afraid, rock the boat. And I would ask so many people, what do you think I should say? What should be my talk track? Da 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 da. How many times should I reach out to them? But now I'm noticing that I trust my inner compass of when I should reach out, what I should say, even being truthful to what I say when I'm talking to someone. I can sell you a dream, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to sell you a dream if I don't believe it myself. So getting into the mindset of I'm coming here with straight authenticity, you take it or leave it, it's on you. I'm going to keep moving because somebody is going to take it. Really love that I'm coming with a full force of a belief system, a passion for what I do. Another huge one is choosing where to move. I mean, this is a huge topic in your 20s because I think moving is constant. And I've been moving my whole life, and I really yearn for a time where I can just settle down. I loved the feeling of staying where I was at when I was in Santa Cruz. Then I realized it was time for a change, and I moved. And I'm in the process, I think, in the time of my life where I'm supposed to be flowing to a new place and a new place. But I put a lot of emphasis on where I end up, how I'm going to feel there, and what's going to happen. And I was going back and forth, back and forth. But with all of the advice and all of the opinions that I took in from asking other people, I finally came to realize it's not that deep. You'll figure it out, choose a path, and it'll eventually be the right one. And if it's not, you can get up and go choose another place. If you have true intentions of the life that you want to live, the universe will gift that back to you and plenty opportunities that will work around what you want to do. Just know that you're smart, beautiful, intelligent, and fun and creative. So whatever you want to do in life, it's going to work out because you are constantly being gifted because you're staying true to yourself. You are so amazing that you just have endless opportunities, babe. I love that for you. This is a big one for me because, at a time in your life, you realize that nobody actually has the answer, not even yourself sometimes when you're also giving the advice to other people. But especially remember this for yourself. People will project their fears, their timelines, their expectations, especially onto you when they're talking to you. And you definitely should listen, take in what they're saying, but choose what to absorb. Choose what to absorb based on what you're being guided to do. If you trust in a higher power, that force of what's right for you will tend to be clear if you take time in your yin to listen to it. Action towards a decision might be uncomfortable, but you'll feel aligned internally. I have made some very hard decisions on what to do regarding a lot of around work and relationships, and those are uncomfortable decisions to make and to follow through it. But I always would come out of that decision and that action feeling at peace. And I know we all have that ability to feel that way when we make a decision. So just trust in yourself. Part 4, what will be, will be. I love this phrase. I'm having to constantly tell myself that. Like constantly. And I love it for myself. And I want you guys to know that what will be, will be. It settles your anxiety when you can whisper this to yourself, especially when you're in the midst of feeling like you have to control everything. But in reality, the only thing we have control of is our body and our mind. And when you take in what's happening to you and trust that things work out in your favor, you get to let go. If it's meant for you, it will come with alignment. It's not going to be forced. And at least for me, vehicle, job, place to live, relationships to be had, I would seek for control. I would force a situation to be answered. I've gotten better at trusting that I will choose now what feels right. And through that process of work, through that process of detachment, through that process of transition, it is aligned to go through that. And the end goal will be exactly where I'm supposed to be. So reframe rejection. It's really protection. If you get denied from a job that you were prospecting, or get denied from someone that you were really trying to get to like you, things like that are really so small in the grand scheme of things. You have to see that those little redirections in your life that feel grand at the time, it's divine protection of getting you toward what is meant for you. So remember, if something doesn't land, feel grateful. And remember, the turnaround to understanding why something doesn't work out doesn't always happen right away, but trust in that invisible guidance that you'll eventually see why you're on this path, why that redirection happened for you. Everything can be great at the end of the day. So keep that mindset for yourself. It's okay if there's a day where you can't allow that stress to seep in and you're frustrated and you want to have just one bad day to yourself. Have it. Please have it. But pick yourself up and remember that there is a guidance you can't yet see. There is a why that you'll soon understand. But know that the instant gratification as to knowing why right away isn't going to come like that. It's the beauty in patience and the beauty in the process of going through that journey. I want to wrap it up with trust in your moment of yin. We all have the yang in us. If you feel like it might be the opposite for you, don't worry. You have to have that yin sometimes that will get you to finally be ready for the yang. At the end of the day, whether you think you have one or the other, you really have both inside you. You just have to reconnect with both, knowing that it's working for you. You don't really even have to force it to come out. Just do things that make you feel good. Start one day at a time towards the thing that you want to happen for yourself, and it'll come together and you'll just start yin yanging. So remember, you're doing fine, honey. Very fine. Take time today to reflect on your wins and ask, what seed are you watering today? I want to know. Write that down, DM me, or comment. I really just want to say with episode 3, thank you for coming back and listening to another talk that I have with you. This is so personal and so fun for me to do. And even though I'm not yet great at it and I am messing up and whatever the case may be, I love you for being here, being able to walk through this journey with me. It's going to be great when we come out at the end being better. There's something really great to celebrate. So remember, if this spoke to you in any way, you have any questions, any thoughts on the matter, any new ideas that you would want to share with me, please comment DM me on Instagram. I would really love to hear everything you guys have to say. And as always, first I'm going to recommend a song, babes. Like, come on, everything in my life is related to a song. If you think there's one moment in my life that I don't have a song come to mind and I'm like, I'm going to play this so that I know I'm not alone. You're crazy. So let me put you on some good music. It's OMW, short for On My Way. It's by FKJ. And I want to say O. I'll probably put the symbol of the artist's name in the video, but it's an artist that's an unpronounceable music force. You have to check out not only FKJ, but I'm going to say O for now. His music is so groovy, so calming at the same time. I just absolutely love it. It definitely captivates the essence of this whole entire episode. So make sure you give it a listen. You can find it on Spotify, on YouTube, or on SoundCloud. I want to give you guys another artist rec because I'm seeing him this week. Smino is a chef kiss of an artist. I love all of his music. He's more on the rap R&B side of things. I'm telling you, the minute you put on his music, you're going to feel good. You're going to be dancing. It's really fun to listen to when you're driving in the car. So make sure you look up all three of those artists because you're not going to be disappointed by any song that you hear by them. Well, that's it, little sis. That's all I have for you today. Thank you again for listening. I can't wait to talk to you guys next time.